What's good, everybody? Welcome to the Pull Up Show. My name is BJ Matthews, aka B Jizzle. Before we get started, follow us on the YouTube page, the Pull Up Basketball Podcast. Like, share, subscribe all of our YouTube videos. Hit that notification bell by subscribe button to get all of our updated videos when we drop a video or live, as well as going to our Cash App, $ BJ Matthews, PayPal at Broderick Masters. I will put that link in the pinned comment section so y'all can do y'all thing. If you guys like this video, show your love and donate. Let's get it popping. All right, man. Happy Wednesday morning. We got another great video for y'all today, man. And I'm driving right now. You know what I'm saying? Getting the day started, so y'all gonna have to bear with me. We got the NBA play-in tournament just started yesterday. We had a couple key matchups. Of course, the biggest one, in my opinion, was the game between the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Los Angeles Lakers, where the Lakers were able to prevail 108-102 at home. So they will be facing the second-seeded Memphis Grizzlies, while the Timberwolves will be going on Friday to face their last play-in game to keep their playoff hopes alive against the against either the against the New Orleans Pelicans or the OKC Thunder. All right, so there's a number of things I want to talk about this game, man, and make sure y'all, what I'm saying, like I said, hit the like, share, subscribe, and PayPal or Cash App, right? I gotta say this. The Minnesota Timberwolves are the most dumbest team in the NBA. They have all the talent. They have toughness. They have grit. They have length, right? They have the star power in Anthony Edwards and karlanthonytowns, right? But they're not a smart team. And I've been saying this ever since last year when they faced the Memphis Grizzlies and lost to them in 6 games. The Timberwolves, there's teams out there who have everything when it comes to their actual physical, attributes in games. But when it comes to the mental aspect of the game and when it comes to situations, they actually end up just, for whatever reason, falling apart. Now, I want to give the Lakers credit because I do think the Lakers did show that they have a lot of grit to their team as far as the defensive end, right? But as I'm watching the game, I'm looking at the Timberwolves and saying they fell back into their old habits. For the majority of the game, for the first 3 quarters, the Timberwolves had control over the game. The Lakers only led by 2 points up until that point. But the Timberwolves were up by 10 points. They were up by 15 points. They were up by 17, 18, all that. So, in this NBA, that's not really a lot. But the Timberwolves had control of that game. And they didn't finish the job, so they have nobody to blame but themselves. If you look at the team stats of the Timberwolves and the Lakers, the Timberwolves shot better for them from the field, from the three-point line and the free throw line. They had more assists, more blocks, more steals. They had less rebounds. They had the same amount of turnovers. They had less points in the paint, and they had more personal fouls. And that contributes to how dumb they are as a team, right? They had control of them, the Lakers, throughout the entire game as far as, the statistics, as y'all can see. So that I look at that, that matters to me. If I look at the individual numbers for the Lakers, their 2 stars, Anthony Davis and LeBron James, did not have a great game. Now, if you look at the numbers, you see LeBron had 30 points, you see AD had 24. They had a very, very average game if you watched it and you actually saw what was going on. LeBron James had a plus-minus of a negative 17, and AD had a plus-minus of a positive 9. They make crucial turnovers, especially when Anthony Davis hit that corner 3. He closed out on Mike Conley, and Mike Conley hit all 3 free throws. It was very clutch. LeBron James had costly turnovers down the stretch of the game. He did not play great defense. When he was on the court, their team was very, very vulnerable for the Timberwolves kick out for open threes, right? So those 2 guys did not have a great game. D'Angelo Russell had a putrid game. The best player on the Lakers last night to me was Dennis Schroeder, right? So you didn't have your 2 best players on the opposing team that had a great game. You were up by double-digit points going into the 4th quarter, and you don't finish the game. Now, I know what people are going to say, that they look at this team, they saw that Anthony Edwards struggled. Yes, he had 9 points. Anthony Edwards had a very, very bad shooting night. I think he shot like 3 for 19 last night, right? So he just had a very, very putrid game. Karlanthonytowns, up until the 3rd quarter, was playing very, very well. He was dominating the game. He was, destroying the Lakers defense. But I'm going to go into another thing about him, why I see Minnesota's a dumb team, right? Mike Conley was very, very clutch up until the fourth quarter. When after the fourth quarter, he wasn't able to, finish the game out. You got guys like Kyle Anderson who, turned the ball over. Torian Prince was hitting 3-point shots. Um, but even with all that, the Timberwolves only lost by 6 points. Now, why I say they're a dumb team, I'm going to go into my point. Exhibit A. The Timberwolves were missing three of their prime players. That was Rudy Gobert in the middle, Jaden McDaniels on the right, and Kyle Anderson on the left. Like I told y'all, the Timberwolves have a lot of talent. These guys right here are 6'8" and up. They have a lot of length. They have a lot of size on their team, right? That's why I feel it's not a surprise to me that the Lakers have so much problems with this team because they are a very, very, talented team, even without missing their players. But Rudy Gobert, their starting center, had a altercation with number 5, Kyle Anderson, on the bench just last week, right before a big game, and they ended up losing, right? So that's one point. You had a bigger on the sideline. You actually threw a punch at your teammate, and you get suspended. Kyle Anderson turned the ball over in key situations down the stretch of the game. And then you look at number 3, Jaden McDaniels, who's a very, very talented young player. He ends up getting sidelined, announced, right before the Laker game because he ends up hitting and breaking his hand on a concrete wall in the game against the Pelicans last week, where he punched the curtain and he actually didn't see that it was a concrete wall right behind that curtain, and he ended up breaking his hand. So that's one thing that you got to look at. Okay, this team is not very intelligent. Then you look at a guy like karlanthonytowns, he's a very talented player, right? Outside of Jokic and Embiid, karlanthonytowns should be the best big man in the league, right? But he's underachieved. This guy has all the athletic gifts. He can shoot from anywhere on the court, right? Great touch, great feel, all that. But his immaturity and his low IQ showed. He got into foul trouble last night. Part of the reason why he couldn't stay aggressive in that fourth quarter because he got into foul trouble, and he picked up a 5th early foul after checking the game within 2 minutes, and he had to be subbed right out. When karlanthonytowns was out in that fourth quarter, that's when the Lakers made their run, right? Because they had no one outside of Anthony Edwards who was struggling to really put the ball in the basket. They were depending on guys like Torian Prince and Kyle Anderson to hit threes, and Mike Conley to an extent, right? And let's get to that one. Mike Conley, Anthony Edwards. Mike Conley was the exact person they need on this team because this team needs some type of structure. That's why when Pat Beverly left the team, I saw they actually think they got worse. You add a guy in Rudy Gobert who's as emotional as anybody in the NBA, who's not very smart. So you're adding more and more toxicity to this team. You need a guy like a Mike Conley who's a seasoned vet and a seasoned point guard to keep these guys in line. And I think it's going to be a big emphasis to Anthony Edwards. Now, let me get to Anthony Edwards as well. Anthony Edwards did not score. He did not shoot the ball. He did not come through for his team like he needed to on the offensive end. I do think defensively, and also him, getting some boards, he did bring that hustle. He just couldn't hit shots. Now, I do believe in Anthony Edwards. I believe in his game. I believe in his talent. I believe in his competitiveness, right? So I'm not going to kill him off after one game. I think he's going to have a big bounce back game on Friday. But like I said, the Timberwolves are not a smart team. I've seen this too many times for this team. They actually end up always shooting themselves in their own foot. They did against the Grizzlies last year in the playoffs, and they did again last night. Right? So let me know what y'all think, man. Do y'all think the Timberwolves are going to end up advancing, or I think they're going to end up losing? Me personally, if they face the OKC Thunder, they're going to win. If they face the New Orleans Pelicans, they're going to lose. Right? But until next time, we respectfully say pull up a seat, pull up a chair, pull up. Peace. Out of here like swimwear.